if you look in the first chapter in Genesis, it states that God created man in his image. But if you contrast that with chapter 2 in Genesis, we're told that God created man from the dust of the earth. Those two chapters, with that apparent contradiction, are meant to teach us a profound lesson as follows. As humans, we're told, the sky's the limit. You could accomplish virtually anything. You were created in God's image. But chapter 2 reminds us, don't get too big for your britches. Don't get too full of yourselves. After all, remember, you were created from the dust of the earth. But that lesson, that profound lesson, is so important that it's repeated this week. At the end of last week's Torah portion, God details for us the laws of kosher and non-kosher, pure and impure among animals and fish and birds and insects. And then at the beginning of this week's Torah portion, we're told the laws of purity and impurity involving mankind. Why? Because just as at creation, God first created the animals and the fish and the birds and the insects and then mankind, so too, first he details the laws relating to animals and creatures and then details the laws relating to mankind. Mankind was created last because we are the honored, cherished guests in the king's palace. Just as a king gets the palace all ready before he invites his guests into the palace, God got the entire world ready for us. When we follow his dictates, we remain his cherished guests. But when we don't, we're supposed to realize even cockroaches were created before us. And so all of us are bidden to remind ourselves that Bishvili Nivra Ha'olam, the entire world was created for me. Now that sounds like something that an egomaniac would say, but think about it. If you're in a moral dilemma, fighting against your baser urges, trying to decide whether to do the right thing or the wrong thing, and you stop and reflect and think that God created the entire universe for you, that creates a certain responsibility. And I gotta believe that if you stop and think about that, it's going to increase the chance that you'll make the right decision.